If you're currently planning to take a cruise on board any Edge-class ship from Celebrity Cruises, it's important that you know now that this class of cruise ship is totally different to almost any other cruise ship out there today. That means that it's even more important for you to do some basic research before you head to the port to make sure that when your time to board comes around, you have the best time possible. In this video today, you're joining me here in my ocean view cabin down on deck 3 of Celebrity Ascent, which is one of the Edge-class ships. It's the final day of my cruise, and I'm sharing with you in this video 20 things that you must do on your next Edge-class cruise. If you find this video useful, and if you enjoy it, then it would be great if you would think about supporting my channel by clicking both the thumbs up and the subscribe buttons. But let's get started by talking about what exactly is an Edge-class cruise ship. An Edge-class cruise ship is the newest type of cruise ship built and operated by Celebrity Cruises. You can tell very easily if you're looking at an Edge-class ship because you'll see down one side this huge floating platform known as the Magic Carpet. The specific ships in this class at the point of recording this video include Celebrity Edge, Celebrity Apex, Celebrity Beyond, and Celebrity Ascent. In the weeks that follow this video being released, Celebrity XCel will also be joining the fleet, and that will therefore be the 5th Edge-class cruise ship to enter the market. So now that we've covered what an Edge-class ship actually is, let's get started with number 1. First, we're starting with a topic that's pretty important to any cruise, and that is food. On your next Edge-class cruise, you need to make time in your diary to try all 4 of the main dining room restaurants. On so many cruise ships, you'll find yourself with the option of the main dining room or the buffet, for example. On here, instead of that main dining room, you've got 4 included dining options as restaurants that sit over and above places like the Ocean View Cafe, which is the onboard buffet. On an Edge-class cruise ship, you're going to find 4 restaurants. One is Normandy, another is Cosmopolitan, another is Tuscan, and the final is Cyprus. Each of these restaurants are very different from a visual design point of view, and they do have some similarities with the menu. That means that you can go to any of those restaurants and you can eat food that you could have in any of them, but there are always bespoke menu items that will apply to that one restaurant specifically. For example, all 4 restaurants on this cruise ship this week have shared about 80% of the menu with each other, meaning that everyone in those 4 restaurants can enjoy 80% of the menu, regardless of which venue you choose to dine in. If you go to Tuscan, as an example, there are then a small selection of Tuscan exclusive dishes that you can order, therefore making Tuscan the Italian-infused restaurant. You find the same applies for each of the dining venues, making it quite nice and quite exciting to change where you go each night. I have met so many people on here who have only tried one dining room or one restaurant during this cruise, but I've loved jumping around them all, which means that tonight, on the last night on board, I get to return to my favourite. So let's move on from restaurants and let's look at number 2. Second, go to the production shows in the theatre while you're on board. I can say, hand on heart, the production shows on this ship have been among the most impressive that I've ever seen on any cruise ship. The bespoke design theatre on here is absolutely incredible. They have got technology in there that I have never seen on a cruise ship before, and they have got some of the most immersive entertainment I have ever experienced, either on land or at sea. They have a huge wraparound screen with a circular stage in the middle of the room. I genuinely don't think any of the seats in that theatre offer a bad view. And in fact, I would say they just offer a slightly different experience depending on whether you choose to sit downstairs or upstairs or centre view or off to one of the sides. During your cruise, you'll find 2 production show times on each of the nights that they take place. You'll find one about 7:30 p.m. and another around 9:30 p.m. And on this 7-night cruise, we've had 3 production shows. So yes, make sure that you carve time into your cruise schedule to go to the production shows on board. Number 3, go to a martini show down in the Grand Plaza. The Grand Plaza is a huge venue that spans across decks 3, 4 and 5 on board an Edge class cruise ship, with the main martini bar being found on the ground level down on deck 3. There you can find a really unique selection of drinks, which I'll come back to with point number 4. But for this one, let's talk specifically about the martini show. During the cruise, there'll be special events that take place down in that grand atrium section, and the most impressive that I've seen was the martini show. Down there, you've got the bartenders mixing cocktails live in front of you while performing some amazing moves with all of the bottles and all of the glasses. There's then even a display where they manage to pour 5, 6, 7 or 8 different cocktails all at the one time. You'll find all of the martini show times listed in your daily schedule, which will be delivered to your cabin each evening of the cruise for the following day, or you can find it within your Celebrity Cruises app. The top tip I would give you for this is that if you do go to the martini show, try and get yourself a seat around the edge of the bar, because you might just find yourself being given one of the cocktails that they make during the show totally free of charge. Number 4. Treat yourself to a martini down at the martini bar. We've covered the martini shows that take place, but why not try one of these artisan cocktails for yourself? The martini menu here is absolutely huge, and in fact, there are 18 different martinis that you could try during your cruise. There's even the option to try a 6 martini flight during your trip. So if you, like me, are not a huge martini fan, but you would like to try a couple of them, then the flight might be for you. At the point of taking this cruise, the flight was $40 for the 6 drinks, or if you were ordering each drink full size, it's $19 for the majority of them on the menu. So yes, number 4, make sure you go down and treat yourself to a martini during your cruise. Number 5, we mentioned that magic carpet earlier. During your cruise, go and spend some time on the magic carpet, both while the ship is docked in port and also while the ship's out at sea. This magic carpet platform gives you a view of the ship that you just cannot get with other cruise ships and other cruise lines. I've never seen anything like it. When you're sitting out there having a drink, and you have just got a fully uninterrupted view of the ocean in front of you. If you look down one end of the magic carpet, you can see the front of the ship, and if you look over to the other side, you can see the back of the ship and the entire wake. It really is unbelievable. Before I took this cruise, I thought the magic carpet was only available for use during dinner, because they do a specialty dining option out there, which is dinner on the edge, and it's quite expensive, to be honest with you. However, I was delighted to find out that the magic carpet is open all day while the ship's in port, and it's usually open for most of the day while the ship's at sea. You can find out which deck the magic carpet is on, because yes, it goes up and down, by going into the elevator and looking for the huge magic carpet button. Pressing that will then take you to whatever deck the magic carpet is on at that time. So don't worry, you don't have to go up and down looking for it for yourself. Next, number 6, while you're on that magic carpet, why not treat yourself to a magic spritz? A magic spritz is a cocktail that has been specifically designed and named after the magic carpet itself. In here, you'll find Aperol, Campari, and Prosecco, and they blend together to make such a refreshing drink, especially if you're relaxing in, as we've been on this cruise, the pretty warm weather outside. So number 6, make your way to the magic carpet and treat yourself to a magic spritz. Number 7, try brunch at the Eden Cafe. Throughout the cruise I'm currently on, it would appear that so few people know about the Eden Cafe even existing, which is great because it makes it such a quiet venue all through the time that it's open. You'll find this cafe within Eden, which is the large multi-use venue towards the back of the ship. In here, you've got some grab-and-go counters similar to the buffet upstairs or the Ocean View Cafe. You'll also find some indoor seating and, my personal favourite, plenty of outside seating on the terrace that's out on what I guess would be the promenade deck on a lot of the more traditional cruise ships. You'll find the Eden Cafe open mostly in the morning for breakfast, and then it's also sometimes open through brunch into lunch. I honestly cannot praise this place highly enough. It's so good, especially because it's so quiet. So once you get on board, check your daily schedule for the opening times and make sure you go down and give it a go. Number 8. If you're a fan of a buffet on a cruise ship, make sure that you frequent the Ocean View Cafe while on board, but do that outside of peak times. This cruise ship is large. It's much larger than most of the others in the Celebrity Cruises fleet, and it's surprised me to see just how busy it is at the point of me taking this cruise. I am currently cruising the Mediterranean at the height of summer, and there are a lot of people on board. In fact, the ship is sailing at well over 100% capacity. That means that if you go to the Ocean View Cafe with everybody else, it's relatively manic, to be honest. However, if you go outside of the peak times, it's a really nice experience up there. I've found that it's much quieter to dine a little bit earlier because so many people on this ship appear to love dining late. So, if you are a fan of a buffet, make sure you head up there and enjoy it outside of peak rush hour times. Number 9. Try a specialty cocktail at the World Class Bar. On my previous Celebrity Cruises vacation, I never tried the World Class Bar, and I now really regret it. In this venue, you can find drinks that you won't find anywhere else on board, and some of the best views looking down into that main atrium martini bar that I told you about a few points ago. If you're looking for a top recommendation from me, I would point you towards the Highlander. Of course I would. I'm from Scotland. I was amazed to find the Highlander on the menu, and this is a whiskey-based cocktail served in a wine glass with one piece of burning and smoking rosemary attached to the side of the glass, which then infuses the whole drink inside. I genuinely don't think I've ever tasted anything quite like it. The closest drink I would say it's similar to would be an old-fashioned, but honestly, it's totally different. So make sure you head to the World Class Bar, sample the menu for yourself, and why not even, trust me, and order yourself a Highlander. Number 10, we're staying on the topic of drinks, but don't worry, we're moving off of alcohol now and we're moving on to my other favourite drink, and that is coffee. On your next Edge Class cruise, make sure that you build time to go along to Cafe Al Baccio, which is the specialty coffee venue on board for coffee and cake. The coffee here isn't included in your base cruise fare, but if you have purchased a drinks package that includes coffees or specialty coffees, then you'll be absolutely fine to come in here. The true highlight of this venue for me has got to be the cake and pastry cabinet. It is so good. And the snacks here are totally included in your cruise. So even if you are coming along and paying a few dollars extra for your coffee, in my opinion, it's worth it when you look at the types of cakes that you're getting alongside that. This cruise, I have really enjoyed going to Cafe Al Baccio after my breakfast. And yes, I might have had an extra cake or two at that point as well. But we don't have to talk about how many cakes I've eaten this week. So yes, make sure you head along to Cafe Al Baccio, which you'll find on deck 4, just above the martini bar in that main atrium, and enjoy coffee and cake. And that moves us really nicely onto our next point, which is use the running track up on the top deck to work off some of those cruise calories that you're inevitably building up throughout your trip. You'll find the running track all the way up at the very top of the ship, and Celebrity Cruises have done a really clever thing with the design of this on an Edge Class cruise ship. Instead of a running track that is a typical circular shape that you'll find on so many cruise ships, they've managed to design it in a way where it operates as a figure of 8, and it also goes uphill and downhill. That means that you don't have to complete as many laps to build up distance, and it also means that it's a far better workout because you're both climbing and also going downhill. If you're not a runner, don't worry. The running track is split in two, so you can use one lane for running and one lane for walking. But in terms of distances, if you complete 3 laps, then you've built up 1 kilometre, and if you complete 5 laps, well, you've covered an entire mile. So, like you needed to justify it, but what better reason to have an extra cake down at Cafe Al Baccio if you're going to go up and walk a mile afterwards? Number 12, make sure you are fully enrolled to the Captain's Club loyalty programme, and then make sure you're aware of what you're entitled to once you get on board. Captain's Club is a loyalty programme that rewards you for the number of nights that you spend on board. Depending on your stateroom or suite category, you'll build up a different number of nights in exchange for you coming on the cruise. For example, I know that I will get a certain number of nights for staying in this ocean view cabin this week, but someone who's staying in the retreat in a top suite will earn many, many more points than what I will in here. I already know that when I get on the cruise, I'm entitled to come to a wine tasting, I get a behind-the-scenes tour. There's a number of different things that I already get as someone who is relatively low down on that loyalty ladder. As you then build up your status with Celebrity Cruises, some of the benefits are really quite impressive. My favourite that I've went along to this cruise is that the members of Captain's Club at my tier were invited to a behind-the-scenes tour of the main theatre. I just find this venue mind-blowing. It is amazing. So it was awesome to be invited to meet some of the cast who are performing on stage and also find out how that theatre works by actually going backstage and going into the dressing rooms and looking at that massive screen that I mentioned to you earlier from a slightly different angle. So yes, make sure you're signed up to the Captain's Club loyalty programme and then cash in on all your benefits once you get on board. Number 13. And this tip, I guess, could apply to any cruise on any cruise ship, but in my experience this week on Edge Class, it absolutely applies here. If you're planning to cruise on this type of cruise ship, then make the effort to get to know the crew a little bit better. I found the crew on here absolutely love talking about where they're from, especially if I've visited there in the past. Every crew member on a Celebrity Cruises ship, regardless of which class it is, will wear a name badge that features their name and also the country that they call home. That means that if you're being served by someone from Vietnam, in the case here today, and I've just come back from Vietnam, so I was able to say to that person, oh, no way, I have just been on a trip to Vietnam. Here's where I went. Where are you from? And it was such a great conversation to have with that person. So yeah, make the effort to get to know the crew a little bit better. And from what I've seen during this cruise, they really, really appreciate it. Number 14. During your cruise, why not make time to head up onto the top decks to enjoy the Pride Party at sea? This is something that I have never seen on a cruise ship before, and I think it is absolutely excellent from Celebrity Cruises. On every cruise on this type of cruise ship, I'm not sure if it's wider. The member of staff we spoke to last night just mentioned this specific class of ship. They have a Pride Party, which means that up on the top deck, they bring a DJ outside and they just have a great time up there. I have never seen a Pride Party on a cruise ship before, and I really do take my hat off and I applaud Celebrity Cruises for doing such a thing. I did think, I wonder if this is maybe just a hangover from Pride Month because it's currently late summer at the point of me being on this ship, but I was delighted to hear that this is something that Celebrity do every single cruise. So yes, why not make some time in your diary to, after the show, on whichever evening it's taking place, head outside on the top deck to enjoy the Pride Party. Number 15. On your Edge Class cruise, why not go for a swim in what has got to be the longest swimming pool that I've ever seen on a cruise ship? Up on the top deck, you'll find the pool on the resort deck. It is absolutely huge. During the day, you will find that pool is very, very busy with people bobbing around enjoying their favourite drink. But early in the morning or later in the day, it really clears out, meaning that if you'd like to come on a cruise and get some lengths in as a form of exercise, or maybe just a way to chill out and reset at the end or the start of a busy day, then that could be the place for you. I know so many people that don't like cruise ship swimming pools due to the fact that they, generally speaking, are pretty small. And I have been on some cruise ships that have tiny, tiny top deck swimming pools, but that just isn't the case here. You genuinely could swim lengths in the main pool here when it's quiet enough to do so. So yes, why not head upstairs and do some lengths in what I'm dubbing one of the longest swimming pools at sea. Number 16, we are almost there. During your Edge Class cruise, go for an art walk. There is art absolutely everywhere on this cruise ship. It's hanging on the walls, it's built into the floor, it's sculptures all around the ship, and in some cases there are entire corridors that have been transformed into huge art installations. I don't think I've ever been on a ship quite like this one from an art point of view. It really is everywhere. There are digital scavenger hunts and there are various other art events that take place on board, and you can find out all the information on them in your daily schedule, which will arrive in your cabin every day, or you can find it on the app. But honestly, you have to make time to go and just appreciate the art on here because it is everywhere and it's so, so unique. Number 17, if you, like me, absolutely love ice cream, then you need to make sure that you build time into your cruise to go to Scoops, which is the ice cream bar up within the Ocean View Cafe, or the onboard buffet. When I came onto the cruise, I saw soft serve and also premium scooped ice creams at Scoops, and I assumed I'd have to pay extra for it. For that reason, for the first 2 days of the cruise, I didn't try any ice cream until I met someone who said, "Have you tried the ice cream upstairs?" At which point, I realised it was totally included in my fare. So if you like an ice cream, get upstairs and enjoy both soft serve and also premium scoop ice cream from Scoops, the ice cream parlour. Number 18, go to the captain's welcome during your cruise. Towards the start of the cruise, usually at the very end of the second night, right before the main theatre show starts after dinner, the captain themselves will come onto the stage and introduce the show, but also welcome all of the passengers onto the ship. I do find this a really nice touch from someone as senior to come down onto the stage and to spend, in this case, 15 minutes telling you a bit more about themselves, their career, and also introducing some of the senior officers on board. It's really interesting to learn a little bit more about the senior officer team at an event like that. The thing that I love most about it is that you can just relax in the theatre with a drink while absorbing what is going on that stage. I do find one-to-one meetings or small group meetings a little more awkward, could be the word to use, so I don't tend to attend them. So I love when senior officers and or the captain present down in the theatre. So yeah, head along to the captain's welcome towards the start of your cruise. Number 19, my penultimate point in my list of 20 things that you must do on your next Celebrity Cruises Edge Class trip is find the most Instagrammable spots or your favourite spots on board and enjoy getting your picture taken there throughout the cruise. I find this cruise ship to be incredibly photogenic, and it's obviously been designed with photo taking in mind. The lighting in all of the venues is so good for taking photos. Even out on the top deck, this cruise ship is lit absolutely beautifully, meaning that if you want to head up before or even after dinner to take some great shots outside, then you're perfectly able to do that. Even just simple areas like the pool deck or the bars, they are just so incredibly picturesque and photogenic. So make sure that if you, potentially like me, enjoy photos and enjoy exploring the ships, go find your favourite or most Instagrammable spot on board and enjoy it. And that brings us on to number 20, which is the final point in my list for today. I really hope you have enjoyed this video today. If you have, then it would be great if you would support my channel by clicking both the thumbs up and the subscribe buttons. And so what is number 20? The final thing that you must do on your next Celebrity Cruises Edge Class cruise is make sure that before you go, you've watched a full ship tour. Why not come and watch mine right now? Over in this video, I'm taking you on a full tour of every single venue of Celebrity Ascent, the cruise ship I've been calling home this cruise. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll hopefully see you over there.